You are listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark. I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking.
And I'm the Reverend Jenny Adams from Holy Trinity, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington.
I always have a
Welcome.
moment when I have to say where I'm from that I kind of think, where am I from? I don't know why. Anyway, I
Mine
am
seems so long. It's such a long mouthful.
always a moment of I suddenly think I'm from Holy. No, that's Jenny. I'm not from there. I'm from St Margaret's, Barking. Anyway, welcome. We're back. We're properly dressed this week as well. I think it's a sign that we've kind of autumn is here, August is over. You know,
It's the
time to get back to work
September
properly.
madness has begun, hasn't it?
September man. And but we're continuing through Luke's gospel. So on Jesus's journey to Jerusalem,
We
pick it up again today, don't we? So without further ado, the reading for us. So for those of you who are watching, I will share the text on the picture, and if you're listening, we're just going to read it.
So we're on Luke 14, verses 25 to 33. Now large crowds were travelling with him, and he turned and said to them, "Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even life itself, cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down and estimate the cost to see whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it will begin to ridicule him, saying, 'This fellow began to build and was not able to finish.' Or what king, going out to wage war against another king, will not sit down first and consider whether he is able with 10,000 to oppose the one who comes against him with 20,000? If he cannot, then while the other is still far away, he sends a delegation and asks for the terms of peace. So therefore, none of you can become my disciple if you do not give up all your possessions."
Great. So nice, easy passage.
Oh,
No
stop
problems
telling
there.
me to give my stuff away, Jesus.
I mean, it has been a bit of a theme, hasn't it? It has been a bit of a theme. We have to confess, don't we? That when we looked up this passage, we thought, what are the other readings? We nearly went for a bit of Philemon, which is good actually.
Yeah, I know.
With some interesting stuff in there.
Eventually we'll get a good miracle story, won't we? But until then.
It's certainly, I guess, it's ratcheting up the pressure, aren't they? As of course Jesus is on his journey to Jerusalem. Interestingly, okay, so I did do a little bit of reading around it. So
I'm
in
going
the
to say you've done a
interpretation
little bit. I've done
commentary. So it
marginally.
made a few points, I think, just as we sort of get into it. Firstly, we've moved back from being in the dinner party scene with that we were looking at last week. Now we're back on the road again with large crowds sort of following him
On the
along,
road
going to
again.
Jerusalem. And that sort of sets the context for this because this is people who are kind of maybe going along for the ride, seeing what this is about, maybe caught up in the excitement of it, without
Okay, so you've got
understanding.
a picture of a big crowd, lots of jostling, people coming to it. Yeah, so
Well, I
people that
mean, I think there is a
want to know
picture.
what it's all about.
I think that's fair as the passage opens with now large crowds were traveling with him. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
No, traveling with him aren't the large crowds that wouldn't know what was going on.
Okay.
Okay. But a crowd attracts a crowd. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
fair.
right. So yeah, there's an excitement about, oh, this is exciting, isn't it? What's this? And Jesus is saying, Jesus is knowing where it's going, and he wants them to know where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a thought about that I'll come back to, so a little bit later.
Okay. Is there anything else you've read that you need to set the scene with, or is that okay?
The other thing which I read, which I thought was quite interesting again in the interpretations commentary, was that the hate, the word hate in one person's reading, don't know
I've
whether
got
you've
this.
come across that, doesn't carry the same emotional weight that we give it. So I mean, I think there's possibly a bit of Jesus hyperbole going on here, which we know actually Jesus uses hyperbole a lot in his preaching and teaching, doesn't he? But there might be a bit of hyperbole here, but also that in the original, that it's not necessarily. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. I just turned that off. In the original, it's more like detached from. So whoever does not
Yeah,
detach
so
from
I've done a similar bit of reading about that. It's the same word in Hebrew that they find in Genesis about Leah and Rachel. So he said that, oh, where is it? Excuse me. If you're watching me, it's because I've got it on a different screen. That's why I'm looking off into the distance. But where's it gone? We hear that Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah and that Leah was hated by Jacob, but really that's just a preference for Rachel, not really that he hated Leah.
Okay, so actually that would work in the same way, wouldn't it? And not great, actually. Let's be honest.
It's not a great translation of the word.
Well,
really,
actually, I mean, what I was going to say, it's not great in terms of you could say, okay, Jacob detached from Leah, couldn't you? And sort of attached to Rachel. So, not a great role model in some ways, but then there's a whole other thing about, polygamous marriage.
No, but you can see
it's that idea, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that he didn't hate her. We know that Jacob didn't hate Leah.
Yes, but he detached from her, which is not great, but yeah.
Had a preference for Rachel. Rachel was beautiful, had nice eyes, apparently.
So,
that's what it was.
All household gods, that kind of thing. It's fine. No, we won't get into that. But sat on her
minor detail.
Get off. But anyway, that's my
Leah, strong woman. Okay. No, I don't want
We're digressing in a not helpful way. So yeah, okay. So it's more detached from preference for rather than our kind of the really loaded emotion in our word hate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think that's probably worth thinking about and reflecting on, isn't it? So those are my sort of starters for 10. Yeah, and obviously you got to sell all your possessions, so crack on.
So I've had a few thoughts about it.
Okay.
I also did a bit of reading, but the reading wasn't that helpful. I can't quote it, but it did kind of make me then wonder a bit further. So the reading started with we live in a market-driven society, and I thought, okay, and that led me to wonder whether we sell Christianity too much. And this is definitely not being sold, is it?
No.
This is not come to me, it's all warm and fluffy. You can be part of this thing. We can be part of community. And we'll all love you and it'll all be lovely. And you can come to church and we've got nice wine or nice coffee. It's none of that, is it?
And pastries.
And pastries. Yeah.
We have got a nice coffee machine at St Margaret's, by the way, just to put that in there. If you do come to church, you can enjoy it. You have to.
It's not that you don't get wine and coffee, but it is, and we have a lot of missional activities that kind of try and sell it. And I feel this is very much, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Come if you want, it's going to cost you a lot. And I was reflecting on somebody, there's always been a lot about the prayer book recently, hasn't there, about how it's quite direct. And I love the prayer book. We use it every week at Holy Trinity. But I've always had my doubts about whether people are really attracted to that. But last week somebody did tell me that they had found it really helpful. They come from a different church into prayer book, and she just said, it is very no nonsense, isn't it? We're bad, Jesus is good. Are you going to follow him or not? Sometimes it's quite helpful to be that direct.
There is no health in us.
No health in us. She quoted it. I did say we say that at home. We have done those things which we ought not to have done.
Seen those things we ought not have done. Those things which we ought not to have done. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think, and actually, the other book that I read was Tom Wright's book, Luke for Everyone, the commentaries there. And he makes the distinction, I think, in this between a politician who's trying to get votes and that this is a really bad pitch, right? Come and give all your money away and you're going to have no money and you're going to have no, and you might even die, but if you vote for me, these things. And he said, actually, that's not, and I think that is often what we try to do because we're so anxious about, our church is growing and we've got to get people in and but he sort of likens it more to an expedition of, it's going to be dangerous, folks, but we're going to go and we're going to see our way through the jungle and, we're going to, but it's going to be worth it. I do wonder
whether we should talk more about the spiritual battle. In fact, I have started to do that. Which side are you on, good or evil? Because that's very much in our society as well. You only need to look at films where good always wins over evil. I mean, people know to root for good. even though it might cost them. So yeah, that's basically my reflection. And of course, I've got a background in sales. I can sell. I can sell this.
Yeah, you used to sell timeshare, didn't you? So you can sell fresh air.
So time. I'll go into the office to see if we've got any returns. Return what? It's time. I am much more morally okay now than I was then. I found Jesus. I don't sell time.
So yeah, okay. And I guess there is that thing of, and again, through Christian history, not everybody has sold their, we've covered this a lot over the summer, haven't we? Yes, not everybody has sold their possessions. You know, we don't all have to be martyred, but there is that sense of, you know, this is what we're signing up for. And, you know, maybe there is a bit more of thinking about it as that sort of challenging adventure rather than this sort of rather easier self-help kind of guide sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, are you going to come and climb the mountain? It's going to be hard. It's going to be cold. It's going to be wet. But you know, but it'll be.
And I was speaking about
it'll be exciting and exhilarating, and I mean, I think that is probably.
Yeah, and I think, you know, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but it's not about whether it works or not. It's whether it's true, isn't it? I think, and I'm using that word deliberately. It's whether it's true. It's not about, you know, and I think, you know, I think it's about seeing that eternal perspective as well, which is so hard to do, because you know we are so kind of, it's hard to sort of see beyond that, and we don't live in a culture anymore that sort of takes that eternal perspective on board. It's you know, eat, drink, and be merry for you know while you can, kind of thing. And I think I was thinking,
so that is changing. So we do have a culture that's changing, and pilgrimage is becoming a bit of a thing. We definitely could use the pilgrimage image as an illustration. You take as little as you want, you talk to others on the way, you build relationships, but it's a journey with a purpose. So I think that could work. And yeah, it's all about preference, isn't it? Where's your focus? Is it on Jesus?
And none of this makes any sense really, unless you can see that you know, that eternal perspective, that there's more than this. Because why else would you give your life, you know? But it's not easy. I mean, the idea that it's just a sort of some sort of thing, oh, it's nice and easy, come and do this. I mean, you were reading a book about that over the summer, weren't you? Sort of, you know, you know, oh, people only have faith because it sort of gives them, you know, so kind of, I don't know, a false hope, as the author might have said. But you know, actually, your view was that it's actually hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Is that the one where?
Was it the David Baddiel book you read?
Everyone wants it to be true, and therefore it's true in their minds. So you find me somebody who doesn't want it to be true, but still follows.
Yeah, I think that's you. Yes, that's right.
Here I am.
Yeah.
I would love it not to be true. It's so costly.
Yeah,
but I can't help but feel it is.
That's right. That's right.
I believe it is.
Just a couple of things on the tower. Yeah, okay. So again, a bit of Tom Wright here. He interestingly, of course, likens the tower to the building of the temple. He says that Jesus is making a kind of veiled kind of thing about the fact that Herod's busy building the temple, the second temple, and it's all going to get knocked down. And likewise, going to war against Rome. You know, but then Tom Wright does have a bit of a theme running through a lot of his writing. So I thought that might be interesting to
maybe, kind of, yeah. I'm not sure I completely agree with Tom Wright. I mean,
no, well, that's fine. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have. You don't agree. You possibly say such a thing. But yeah. Anyway, some interesting thoughts that might be worth some further reflection. My thought, kind of, perhaps as we sort of draw this to a close, is that actually there's this large crowd, and Jesus is challenging them, and so again, some of the reading that I did, making the point that Jesus is telling, don't think this is going to be an easy ride, because I'm going to Jerusalem, and he knows what's going to happen there. And my thought was actually that in the end, of course, none of them stay the course. None of them do. So, it's easy to think, oh, well, it's just the crowd who was going along for the ride that Jesus is talking to here. He's challenging his closest followers as well.
Okay.
And none of his closest followers really go all the way with him, do they? He is alone at the end, most famously, I guess, in Peter's denial,
Yeah. Okay.
And yet, because I like to bring this in, usually there is in through all of this, there is grace there. Yes, this is challenging. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's an adventure, but it doesn't stop the fact that Jesus loves us and has grace for us and forgiveness when we don't always manage to do these things. Not that that's an excuse for doing them, but that's the paradox of grace, isn't it? That's kind of my thought.
It's true. I mean, it nicely tempers the difficult message. I'm not sure that I'm going to. I think I might go hardcore.
I'm not trying
Are you
to
on the journey or are you not? Come on.
Yeah, and I'm not just trying to wish that away. I think that's always the danger, right? Yeah, you're right. Am I just trying to make it an easy? You can say that, and there is a danger of that, and I accept that. But on the other hand, that's still how the story outworks, isn't it? Jesus still loves them. You have to hold both these things together in the Christian faith, don't you? That
no, absolutely. For me, I don't think for us that's the time for that. It's like we're on a journey. Are you on the journey? Get on the journey. Come on the pilgrimage.
Yeah. You've still got to get on the journey, and it's still going to be hard, and you've still got to count the cost.
Yeah, but if you don't quite make it to the top, it's all right.
If you don't quite make it,
but definitely not done.
I think it's not about saying, oh well, I don't have to bother to start then. I think that would be the wrong.
No, and I feel that that's the danger, really. When we keep tempering it, I feel. Yeah.
So you're going. We
don't need to even try to get to the top. Then, if there's grace, we can just stay at the bottom and it'll be fine. I think that's the thing. I'll just pack my bag and sit here.
Okay. So, how do you work out that paradox then?
Oh, I'm just not going to mention it. There'll be many times that I can talk about grace. Well, no, because I think I'm just going to stick with what's in the passage. I mean, there'll be many, many, many other times where I talk about grace. People just have to work it out in their mind.
No, I guess, it is true that to get on that journey, Jesus is clear. Nothing matters more. I think that's what you could say in a way, isn't it? And he uses a bit of hyperbole about that. But actually, if you want to follow Christ, nothing matters more. There is nothing, not family, not possessions, not money, not even your closest ties that you can put in front of me. And actually, that is a theme that goes through, in many ways, all of our readings through Luke, isn't it? Nothing matters more.
Well, it certainly has been a theme for the last few weeks, yes. So I think I shall continue with it. Not least because a lot of my congregation don't come every week, so they might have missed it.
Well, I've got a baptism, so I suppose in one sense it kind of feeds into that.
No wonder you're going for the grace.
Well, I suppose there's grace at the start of the journey, but you've got to get on the journey, haven't you? I don't know. We'll have to see what comes out. If you want to see what that all turns out to, you'll have to come to St Margaret's for our all-age service on Sunday, or you can go for the full hardcore, full-on hair shirt version.
Stand in the pulpit and shout.
But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we hope you have a good weekend. Enjoy reflecting on the scriptures, and we will be back next week.
We will. Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.